276 for weather.
Philly pilot in the Vision Jet, 777 Lima Sierra.
1372 Frederick Fargo.
Yep, we got it.
Level 30,000 feet right now on our way to Glacier Park. Whitefish, Montana, my old second home.
We'll let you know when we are
with this guy here, Landon Palmer. Sandy Palmer. So you got to tell me the Sandy part.
Well, the Sandy part comes from actually Sandusky.
Okay. It's just short.
Short for Sandusky.
There's no good military kind of thing in there that I was.
There's a certain time when that name Sandusky would not be welcome on the side of a fighter jet. So my XO decided Sandy was the way that it had to be.
Interesting, right? Yes, I'm from Pennsylvania, so we're very familiar with Sandusky.
I figured you would be familiar.
So that's, whatever. But anyway, so what were we going to talk about? I was going to talk about something besides whatever. Just in the Vision Jet, crossing the country. The beauty is I can edit out any of this. So it doesn't matter.
When I say something stupid?
No. So we started out yesterday actually early evening in Hyannis, where we picked up my buddy's Vision Jet, and I need to log 25 mentor hours with this experienced Cirrus pilot. So
not just a little.
Yeah, so he's too busy flying. Allegedly flying F-18s. All right. There's no written proof of it anywhere.
Well, all your viewers
are going to picture.
All your viewers are going to be like, F-18s. Oh, we're going to Google. And then there's going to be somebody who actually knows me. He's like, he doesn't fly F-18s.
He doesn't fly F-18s. That was a
fly T-45.
That's an F-14. 18. It's a different one. It's a different model.
Sure.
Much smaller model.
Sure, and it's affectionately known as the clown jet. But you know.
So yes, you do the train. Well, you're an instructor for that, right?
Yeah.
So you fly the T.
So my other job number 2 of 3 is go teach Navy students in the T-45, and we go do simulated close air support. We do air-to-air intercept theory, and we practice low altitude strike ingress stuff. And we also just do basic jet theory, like how to be in a jet.
Right. So, like, give me like top 3 either coolest, funnest experiences. I know that's a tough one to put you on the spot, but just come up with something that's like, oh my God, this was one of the greatest moments in my career.
One of my favorites was my final flight for the Marine Corps. So just about a year and a month ago, I was in Son of Fun. Never been to Son of Fun, never been to Oshkosh. And for my final flight in the Marine Corps, I got to go take a T-45 with another T-45, a couple buddies, and go demo it was a static display, but park it right near the Cirrus tent.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
cool.
I was like right across from them. I was actually not hired yet, so I was trying to network a job.
That's a good way to get through an interview when you park your jet next to the Cirrus tent and be like, hey guys, I'm thinking about coming to work for you guys.
I think that
at that point they're like, well, I think you qualify on the flight experience part of it.
Yeah, but then they were like, but how much Cirrus time do you have? And I was like, let's not talk about that.
Oh boy, that's where the interview went downhill.
It did a little bit, but they at least believed that I would learn quickly. But yeah, like taking off out of Sun and Fun was probably like, you know, I'm on my final flight in the Marine Corps.
I have never been. Everybody says it's great.
I mean, I think that Oshkosh is. Everyone talks about Oshkosh being cooler. It's
you gotta go to Oshkosh.
That you're being at a big air show and you're departing on your final active duty military flight. Like that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool setting.
Very, very cool. So that was one. Guys, I apologize for the live ATC actually going through here. Salt Lake Center is pretty busy right now. If we would have done this one flight ago, did we hear anything for like an hour?
Pretty dead.
We were like, radio check?
Pretty dead.
So,
for F-18 stuff, I really enjoy doing the low-level routes, you know, around California and Arizona and stuff like that. There's a famous one called the Star Wars Canyon, which unfortunately, the day I was supposed to go do it, in fact, I think Star Wars Canyon might be the one that's used in Top Gun.
Area of moderate.
Where that was filmed. I was going to ask you, it has to be something like that, right?
I don't know for sure. You know, my buddies would know. But
were you going to do it 2 minutes and 15 seconds?
We'll let you know if we need to. Appreciate that. You know,
2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Right. I didn't see the movie. Of course I did. Twice.
I hope nobody's out.
I
You know,
can cut
spoiler
it
alert.
out.
Spoiler alert. 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Right. They don't know what that means.
The day I was supposed to go do Star Wars Canyon, which is like the famous like low-level route, something was going on. We departed out of China Lake and we realized that we just weren't going to be able to make it. So, but there's a couple other good routes north of a Marine Corps base that we would go do all the time. In fact, you go do them in the T-45 a lot on what we call websteads. But those are pretty cool when you're out there with your wingman going, 500 feet and flying pretty fast.
Right. What's pretty fast?
We would go 480 was our planned. So 480 knots was our planned
Wow.
speed.
Wow.
And of course, we would go faster or slower as needed in order to make a certain time.
So a couple questions with that, and that was in which plane?
That was the F-18.
That
Also
was
T-45. T-45 though we do it at 360.
Okay. So a couple of redundant, because I asked you a few of these questions before, so just anyhow, because people always wonder. So you said speeds. Give me an idea of fuel burn again in both planes, actually.
What did we talk? 3,000.
It was 20-some hundred gallons per. Was it 20-some hundred gallons per
hour?
Per hour.
Yeah, that's what it was because. So the way that our Hornet was set up is that we had 14,000.
Oh, pounds, right?
Pounds
between the external tanks.
Yeah, everything that we do is basically in pounds per hour. So trying to do the mental math of like switching it to gallons, which is where a lot of like other people's minds go. I think we did the math and it was over 3,000, just over 3,000 gallons. But when you would go do a what we call BFM, basic fighter maneuvering sortie, you have the afterburners lit the entire time, and so your fuel flow is just
you're watching the needle move.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. So you could go fly like over 2 hours with our 14,000 pounds of fuel, just flying like an endurance profile, trying to get from point A to point B. But when you do BFM and you've got the afterburners lit, that flight was usually 45 minutes from takeoff to landing.
And in the T-45?
T-45 is much better. It's a single engine jet, so it's got 380 gallons. 3,000 pounds is what we kind of reference, and most of our flights are usually 1.5. You could go a 2 hour in T-45. I've done it. It's painful. It doesn't have any autopilots, so you're just up there flying it. I've flown it at 41,000 feet, and it's not fun, just because it's so twitchy and you're up, RVSM.
Oh, that's right. So that was another thing we talked about. So that one is literally like you do anything in that, and it's
very twitchy.
Versus the F-18, which is
it has fly-by-wire, so it'll trim itself and try to just kind of maintain that attitude.
Right.
So yeah, T-45, it's a great jet trainer because it teaches new pilots, like you have to think in front of the jet all the time because of how twitchy it is and how your rates of climb and all that stuff are changing.
And what G's can you pull in the T-45?
T-45 max is 7.3, 3 repeating, of course. 7.3.
3.3. Right, got it.
Yep.
And the F-18 is 7.8.
7.5.
7.5. Okay.
Yep, 7.5. Or if you're watching Top Gun, I've actually got that right. 7.5, but you can override it
to 9.
You could override it more, as much as the airplane will give you until the wings break.
Right. Okay. Very, very cool. So now jumping. So you're now reservist, Navy Reserve.
Yep. So I did 14 years active Marine Corps. And that was not all F-18 flying. There was 4+ years of F-18 flying in that. And then the way it worked out for me is I went and did JTAC, which is Joint Terminal Attack Controller. And that's where you're embedded with generally like an infantry unit, and you're the person that's calling in airstrikes close proximity to where friendly forces are. So I went and did that. And then I was an instructor in that for 2 years out of San Diego. And so because I was kind of out of the cockpit for so long, it was just going to be too kind of costly. And my family was starting to happen at that point, so I wanted something where I knew I was going to be a little bit more consistent at home.
Makes sense.
So then that's when I went over to the T-45, and I was a T-45 flight instructor for the 4 years before I got out of the Marine Corps. And now I'm a Navy reservist.
Contact Minneapolis
Right.
Center 1
And,
do the same
well,
thing.
but your real job is
My real job is serious.
sit next to me.
Sit next to this guy, making sure he doesn't flight violate. Really me, I guess, in this case. Since,
Yeah, technically, I guess that's true.
but yeah, so I started with Cirrus about a year ago as an SR instructor. Worked my way over to the Vision Jet, and now I've been on the Vision Jet for about 6 months. So I do both. I'm considered an SR instructor pilot and a Vision Jet instructor pilot, one of the factory ones.
You did SR for how long? How many months?
About 6 months.
6 months, and so it's pretty much the same, right? 6 and 6 between the.
So far, yeah, because I've
Right.
literally, my anniversary date is in 14 days. Don't forget.
Awesome. So SR stuff. Give me some, tips, tricks. What do you see? What do you love about it? What do you see with pilots out there? I mean, we're not bashing. We're not,
Yeah.
trashing. We're not. But I mean,
So on the SR side,
which, by the way, let me just add, we did fly. Sandy came to Wings, Lee Oscar Mike, where we always go out of. We flew. I had to fly him up in my plane first and land in Hyannis so he could judge me and start taking notes right away.
I did.
Read all those notes.
I was able to start figuring out like what am I in for the next week.
Oh my gosh.
No, but I was able to see your beautiful SR. That was great, and it was been almost 5 months since I've been in an SR, so it was a good thing that I wasn't at the controls.
Fun planes, fun planes.
When I was mainly on the SR side, to be honest, it's not that I have to say this, but I had really good customers. I had customers that showed up prepared and eager to learn. They always treated me with a ton of respect.
Yeah, so I will say I'll pay Land. I go between both names, so we'll pay Landon a compliment in terms of instructor. And I've had a bunch of instructors through my relatively short aviation career, but I like your teaching style because it's not like, you're a moron, how did you mess this up? So again, this is getting time, actual, and we're doing some, I would call this relatively hardcore flying, what we've got over the next few days in terms of for Vision Jet stuff, right?
Yeah, we got 3-4 days. We're headed out to Montana. Then tomorrow, I think we're going to head to
Aspen.
He's going to scare me in Aspen, and he's going to scare me in Telluride.
Right, and then Roswell.
Oh yeah, we're going to go check
out
out
the aliens are going to scare both of us in Roswell. So that's that's going to be a pretty big day and a bunch of bucket list checkoff items for us in there. So in terms of going through things, I enjoy it because it's a learning thing, and I consider myself okay at this. I'm a safe pilot, I think, in this, but there's certainly tips, tricks, and that's what this whole thing is all about. And it's even in the first 6 hours that we've had in this thing, I feel 50% better than I did last night.
Yeah, and that's kind of how by design, I just kind of wanted this trip just to start off. We're not doing anything crazy. We're just going point A to point B airports.
Right.
I guess about the most complicated thing I threw at you today was making you do a visual approach in the Vision Jet.
Which I was probably better at that than anything else.
Great. No, but it's so far I'm seeing like your overall comfortability with the system has increased a lot just in 24 hours. So tomorrow maybe obviously since we're going to Aspen and Telluride, those will require a lot more pilot focus.
Right.
But then after that, maybe into Roswell, we're going to start to throw in, we'll do some SFOs or some emergency descents.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some VFR stuff, so we can probably maybe do that trip down for Telluride, cancel and whatever, and go play a little bit.
Yeah.
And do stuff like that, which is really cool, and I'm looking forward to it. But a lot of it is also, I fly SR mostly, fly a little bit in the Pilatus, and then even less in this. And the transition, even though it's a Garmin-based product, still and figuring it out. And also the speed things. The biggest thing for me it was getting used to that. We just talking about that earlier about, a lot happens quicker, lower, fly the airplane. That's the best tip I can give anybody when they're flying, and from a non-instructor.
pretty close.
You can figure everything out, but if you're doing something major wrong while you're flying the airplane, it's not going to be a good day. So you got to fly the airplane first, and that's Aviate, Navigate, Communicate. So that's why they came up with it.
Absolutely.
Number 7 Lima Tango, contact Minneapolis Center 128.42.
12842, 7 Lima Tango.
Similar sounding airplanes there for a second.
Exactly.
Yeah, some people, they talk about, that sometimes the opinion is the Vision Jet's kind of slow, but down low, this airplane will go 250. It'll go faster than 250 where throttle's at.
Right.
And a lot of times we get stuck low, like even out of New York. I don't know in your experience, but
yeah, they do not want to bring up quick enough, and you're just watching your fuel go like this and saying, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
United 310.
Unlike out west where they're like,
behind traffic. Thank you.
when they give you the clearance, it's climbed to 15,000, and then your next clearances go right up to 30,000. That's pretty good, with one fix in between.
Yeah, there's not a lot out here that we got to really be concerned about.
There's not a lot of people
Salt
out
Lake
here.
American 1998,
Big country. Well, we are going to hit a little bit of
American
clouds, maybe get a little bit more. Picked up a little ice, did have a little fun with that. Practice, the boots work good, the TKS fluid on the windshield worked good. So the systems are, I mean, it is a beautiful, flying, extremely comfortable airplane. So that's what's good. I mean, two guys up front. I'm leaning in a little bit because of the camera, but it's really, really comfortable. That's one thing. The systems are designed, and I don't work for Cirrus, but I enjoy flying. So this is something that you can sit in, fly cross country. It pretty much, I mean, you're kind of a wimp. You don't like to be in a plane for more than 8 hours.
You're right. Well, even 8's pushing it. I'm more, like 5 and we're done.
5 and we're done, right? I do 45-minute flights, and that's it. So, but this is a comfortable airplane that you can do your stops and go across country and make it in certainly a day and a half and be comfortable. It's not like you're,
I feel spoiled. I mean, yes, I am a company man, but I feel pretty spoiled when I'm in there because otherwise the other airplane I fly is much more tighter, and you got to wear a lot of extra stuff. So to be in here where the AC's working, there's a lot of space. I'm not
pretty good.
I'm not really bumping up on you a whole
lot. No, you
lot.
haven't hit me a lot, so that's except when I was doing something wrong when I got the elbow.
Well, yeah, I mean, throw things at you, of course.
That happens. So we're going to join along and video a bunch more stuff. We're going to hopefully get some good shots coming into Glacier. I would call it used to be my second home away from home, and one of my favorite places in the country. So hopefully we'll get some good shots coming into Glacier Park, GPI. And we'll go from there, so join along. Signing out, Philly Pilot for the moment.
See ya.
See ya.